Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Tom and I'm back with another how-to for Brett. So, well, the other week I had touched on a breakfast pastry called Bacancha. Uh, so I wanted to go over another bread item, but this one's going to be a little more known. So this week I'm going to do the Danish dough. Now, how Danish dough, I'm going to explain two things before I get into the dough mixture and how to do that. And and those two things are obviously going to be one, the history, and the second is two different styles of incorporating hang the butter in it here for lamination. So, the first, I'm going to do the history. So, Danish kinda already existed before many people actually believe it did. And so, most people, their assumption is as the Danish existed in Denmark as of 1850, due to a strike. Yes and no. Pretty much. So, yes, as the Danish got its big show as of 1850, due to the strike, but no, it was not actually invented during this time. The more modern one was, but the Danish existed. They had already in Austria. Uh, so, pretty much what happened here was around 1850, there were big strikes going on in France at the time. I'm pretty much, I wasn't exactly sure what the complication was, but pretty much in short, because of this, as there was understaffing for the pastry shops and everything, and they needed people to run it. They had to get their orders out and everything. So what they did was they hired chefs from abroad, i.e. Austria, for this concept. And and because of that, and the Austrian chefs brought over a type of laminated dough. So pretty much, to put it in simple terms, the the type of dough they did was pretty much the same style they did for puff pastry. However, it added a few more ingredients such as egg and sugar. So because of this, what actually happened was the Austrian chefs did this dough, they did the Danish, and and the French people had a field day with it. They greatly enjoyed it. So, oh, because of this, they named the type of dough, oh, I believe it was patisserie, evanestre, or something like that. It was, it's a French term, so it's a little hard to pronounce. Hounds. But in short, it's just explaining that it is a laminated pastry. Hey, that is roughly what the English translation is. So, oh, pretty much, I couldn't exactly find the origin of the actual Danish farther than it came from Austria. Uh, Unfortunately, I was a little preoccupied with work this week because of a lot of complications. But what I can actually say is the original way they finished it was they put a chocolate glace, or it's like a chocolate glaze, but it's very thin and shiny, on top with had some toasted nuts, and on occasion they filled it with some fruit jams and stuff uh, for that purpose of adding a little more or personal use to it. So, in that concept, that is pretty much the original Danish. And obviously, once people started immigrating to the New World, they brought over the recipe and stuff, and it was also a big hit in the U.S. Yes. So, with that, I'm going to talk now on lamination. Now, lamination, in short, works with the concept of adding butter layers into the dough. With this, I'm going to talk about two methods that work with this. So, the first is the original method, and it's called the roll-in method. So, pretty much with the roll-in, what you're going to do is you're going to get a wad of butter, or depending on the amount, how it will be depending on your dough. Roughly, it's about, I want to say like 30-40% of your dough. I think it's a lot of butter. So you take this and you make it pliable and stuff. If you already mix your dough and all that stuff beforehand, and once he rests and bulk ferments, or depending on what you're doing with him, you're gonna roll him out into a rectangle, about twice the size of the size of your butter. So they're gonna be about the same thickness, and the dough's gonna be double your size, just enough so when you place the butter on, you can encase him, and there isn't any butter opening out. You should be able to overlap the top and the bottom layers of the dough. So that's pretty much the way you start it. After that, you start rolling your butter in your dough. Normally it's a threefold, so pretty much here's your dough. You fold the left and you fold the right height, and your best desire is having it so it's pretty much equal in that way. After that, you'd let it rest and cool. We'll roll it out again and do a fourfold. So what you would do is you take two sides and then you fold them over, meeting in the middle, and then fold it over again like a book. Okay, and then you would let it rest again, and then do another threefold. Same thing, resting again, and then another fourfold, and that would be all you need to do for the folding, the roll-in method. Now, for most people, if you're doing this at home, this method is very flawed for you. Or if you don't exactly know what you're looking for temperature-wise, again, very flawed. And I'm going to explain why. I'm not saying it's wrong to use it, or I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that if you as a person don't know what to do with the roll-in method, this method is really not best for you, and the second method I'll explain after why I will be. So, in short, the reason why this is flawed is if you don't have exact proper temperatures, if your butter is not pliable enough, if you don't let it rest enough, if any of these things run wrong for you, it will not be right. Hi, and that is why this is a very complicated method, and why many people don't do lamination. So, oh, with this in mind, there was another method created to counterbalance. Hence, people that don't know how to do this, yes, but still want a type of laminated dough. And this is called the Blitz method. Now, the Blitz method, you're still incorporating the butter, but you're kind of skipping that whole folding step. So what's going to happen is you're going to mix your dough, make sure it's set up, and pretty much you'd let it rest for a little while to relax the gluten structure. Then once he's rested, probably like 10-15 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to incorporate the butter you would have folded in and rolled in and into your dough. Now, many people don't like this because they say you don't get proper laminated layers. Technically, they're not wrong, but you're still getting the same flavor concept. That you're probably not going to get as big air pockets as you could through the roll-in method. But if you're trying to make something as close to the roll-in method, but not the roll-in method, this is your best bet. And most people really don't know the difference unless you're actually known to know what you're looking for. So, with that in mind, let's finally get into the Danish. So, I changed up this recipe from the original style of how you do it just a little, because one, I don't have 2 days to work on this dough, so I'm trying to get this set up to a point I can do it on 1 day. Okay, and then the second is the method calls for the roll-in, and I changed it to the Blitz, and I already mentioned and what I pretty much did here, which to change it, I just added pieces of the butter once it had set up, allowed it to mix, and I did like 3 or 4 parts of it for the purpose is that its whole concept is just combine it, let it be set for the next hex, and so on. So, pretty much in this Danish dough, you're not using a sponge. This whole thing is, the way I'm doing it, straight, just completely straight through. So, your ingredients and percentages are, for milk, you got 43.3%, eggs is 19.9%, bread flour, obviously, you're 100%, and yeast is 0.9%. Sugar is 11.3%, salt is 2.2%, and this isn't the butter that's in the roll-in, and so, you need pliable butter of 8.7%. Now what I'm going to say is the roll-in hand butter, or Blitz butter, if you want to state it as that. So, a little bit of bread flour just has to make it a little more pliable, absorb some of the moisture, or 7.4%. And as I mentioned before, this calls for a lot of butter. So the butter in the roll-in is 75.3%. So your total dough percentage is 269%. Now I did this with a 900 gram total dough weight. So if if you want to do the math and stuff with that, go right ahead. And so, pretty much, the way this is done is you pretty much mix all your first ingredients at once, and this should take about 4 minutes on low. Then once he's all combined into one solid mass, as you bring it up to high and mix it until you get an intense gluten structure. As I mentioned before, this is where you get like a very thin sheet on him. So if you're doing the roll-in, and what you're going to do now is let it bulk ferment for about an hour. And then if you're doing the blitz, what you're going to do is you're going to let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes. And then start adding parts of your butter into this right afterwards. So, pretty much after it's mixed in, you do let it bulk ferment for the hour, just so he's good. Now, just so you guys are aware, you can do this with margarine, but personally I don't want to, because of two reasons. One is because of a little theory some scientists did a while back that just like disgusted me to a great deal with margarine. And then the other is butter melts at about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. A normal person's body temperature ranges from 96 to 98. Hey, around that line. Margarine melts at 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're still getting a waxy taste from it. So, and that temperatures, as I'm saying, are the melting point. So if sit there for a prolonged period of time, yes, he will melt, but most people are not going to keep in their mouth for hours, or just because it's a little weird of taste. So you get a better melting, like a better smooth taste from butter as opposed to margarine. And that's one of my major reasons why I'm doing this. And it's with butter. So with that, I've already got my dough all bulked and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start rolling him out. So once he's rolled out and everything, and while I'm doing this, what's going to happen is you're going to need 2 additional whole tools as opposed to the normal whole scale, whole bench scraper, bowl scraper, all that good stuff. And one of them, as you already saw before, was the rolling pin, and then you need a pastry reel, or if you don't exactly know what I'm talking about, I'm saying a pizza cutter. So, and I say pastry reel because this existed before the pizza. So, little fun fact there. So you want to get into a nice rectangle. Okay. I just want to make sure this guy is nice and level. And what I'm actually doing right now is I'm running my hand over to see where it's more thin and thick, and also how thick he actually is. And then I'm just adding a little air in, so in case this guy retracts onto himself. I'll not doing it while he's being cut. So now that that's done, I'm going to get a little water for her just to do this next step. And I'm also going to get a pastry brush. Which I do not have right now. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to rub it on with little, on my fingertips. And this is just because I don't have the brush. I'm not recommending you do this if you do have the brush. Just because it's very hard to do. And then I'm going to take a little cinnamon sugar that I mix. So it's not that much of the cinnamon in the sugar. And I'm just going to put them on top. And the reason why I put the water on was so this would stick. Heck, if I did not, this would not stick so well. And I'm not exactly worried about using all this sugar because I'm pretty much getting rid of it the second and I'm done. Because I have no use for cinnamon sugar in my house. So, now that he's ready, I'm going to cut small strips out of him. And now I'm going to twist him so he gets a nice little design, and just make small my dough is really soft, so this may be a little more complicated on me. Yeah. So I'm making him and then spinning him into a small snail roll. Now there's 15 different styles to do this, so I'm not saying don't try them, but just for the sake of doing this video, I'm just doing the snail roll. So after he's all done, you're gonna let him proof for pretty much long enough for him to be ready to put in the oven. And right before I'm putting them in the oven, I'm going to put some blueberry filling for a pie. I'm cheating right now and just doing a store-bought brand because I again didn't have time to make some stuff or get as much information as I wanted. Oh, pretty much after that, I'm gonna put them in the oven, and for about 18 minutes, considering out of my oven and type, which is a convectional oven, and which if you want to understand what the difference is just air coming up and air coming around for the convectional and conventional oven. So I'm gonna do that, and before that I'm gonna egg wash them to add a little more color to them right before going in, and once they're ready, that they should be able to cool down and eat right afterwards. So thank you guys for watching this video. As always, hey, please like and support my channel. Oh, if you want to see any special requests, please go ahead and post them, and have fun.